Today FM is #1 here in Singapore.
We love Today FM in Lambasa. It rocks!
My favorite station in Nandi is Today FM.
Listening to Today FM rocks in Sabah.
Loto kasi di love today's kid music.
I love Today FM because they play all my songs.
We love Today FM at Univer Lambasa. Yeah, it rocks!
I love Today FM because it rocks.
Today's hit music on Today FM.
In this bulletin, Elections Office to ensure every voter knows how to vote by Elections Day. 999 drivers booked for traffic infringement in 36 hours. And 3 people in hospital following horrific accident in Nandi. Good evening, welcome to FBC News. I'm Amrita Priyadarshini. Police are baffled at the discovery of 3 bodies in separate incidents this long weekend. Today, the body of a 5-year-old boy who had been missing since yesterday afternoon at Nasingatoka village in Rewa was found following a massive search by police and villagers. According to police, the boy was with other children at the village seawall when one of the children allegedly pushed him into the sea.
It was unfortunate that the body of the victim was discovered by the search party and is now at the Wayne Bukasti mortuary awaiting postmortem results as we continue on with the investigations.
In another incident, police are investigating the discovery of the body of a 42-year-old electrician near a creek beside the old Nosori courthouse yesterday afternoon. He was last seen leaving home at 9 a.m. to fish in the creek, and the body of a woman was found floating near Marine Drive in Lautoka yesterday.
We will be waiting for the postmortem results just to ascertain what the cause of death was for both of these cases, because initial reports that we have received is that for the case in Nosori, the victim had made contact with the wife, but then about an hour later was found floating in the said creek. And similarly with the case in Lautoka, we have to await the results of the postmortem examination just to find out what actually led to the death or whether it was directly related to drowning.
The Fijian Elections Office will see that every voter is well versed with how to vote before Election Day. Election Supervisor Mohammed Sanim says his officers will even be present at every polling stations. Apisalamedoka reports.
The election office will be providing booklets identifying candidates and their respective numbers before election day.
Booklets will be distributed from our centers. We will give some to the parties, but as you know, we have to keep in mind our budgetary constraints. The key priority for us is to have that booklet available on election day and to have people informed as to how to go about negotiating their way into the booklet.
Sanim says they will be very strict with the use of booklets.
If before elections we distribute the booklet, you can't bring that booklet into the elections polling station. You will be given a fresh booklet after the voting finishes. Oh, no, before the voting starts. My apologies.
The election supervisor says they will use every medium available to advertise candidates, making it easier for voters to identify who they want to vote for.
Before election day, we will have a chart of all the candidates listed, and we will endeavor to put it up in prominent locations, billboards. It will go on your screens, and it will be advertised in the newspaper. So once the candidates list is ready, national candidates list is ready, it will be published in the newspaper, and it will be a lift out, so you can use it to identify your candidates, and it will be available at our elections offices around the country.
Sanim says there will be no limitation given to any voter to cast their votes, as time will not be an issue.
That is the reason why the polling stations have a maximum of 500 voters. 500 voters, 3 screens. We'll have 4 screens plus 1 spare screen times 8.5 hours. You get the amount of time total, and the person can take. If you are a well-informed voter and you are able to see where the number is and you are able to identify your candidate, you can take as little as 2 minutes. I don't know how long it might take, but we are not going to pressure anybody to quickly vote.
The booklets containing the national candidates list will be available 2 weeks before elections. Apisolome Doka, FBC News.
Despite all efforts to keep roads safe this long weekend, the trend in bookings recorded by traffic officers across the divisions continue to paint a worrying picture. Director Traffic Senior Superintendent Mahesh Mishra says driver behaviour is still a major area of concern. Shireen Lata reports.
From Thursday morning till yesterday afternoon, 999 drivers have been booked for traffic infringements.
Far, we did not record any major incidents on our road, but yes, we have recorded 999 cases of traffic infringement on major highways, accident-prone areas and black spot areas.
663 drivers were booked for speeding, one of the leading causes of road accidents and fatalities on our roads.
The saddest part is that still people are not adhering to our messages and awareness and on safety tips, and also they are not adhering to the road rules that are those rules that are life-threatening situation, creating unsafe road environment for our motorists and our innocent road users.
12 drivers will be spending their long weekend in the cell as they wait for their case to be brought before courts after being arrested for drink and drive. With more traffic anticipated for the next 24 hours, the head of traffic department is requesting motorists to adopt a change of mindset.
We have certain percentage of our people is still ignoring the road rules, is still taking laws in their own hand, and these are the challenges that we are now facing as far as the attitude of our drivers are concerned.
42 drivers were booked for careless driving, 32 for not wearing seat belts, while 292 drivers were booked for other traffic offences. Shireen Lata, FBC News.
3 people are admitted in hospital following a horrible car accident in Nandi this morning. This private vehicle and this bus were involved in the early morning crash near the Aerotown service station at Nandi Airport. The driver and 2 passengers who were in the vehicle were rushed to hospital with serious injuries, while the driver of the bus escaped unscathed. Police spokesperson Anna Naisora says the vehicle veered onto the right lane and collided head-on with the bus, which was heading to Suva. Naisora says the passenger sitting in the front seat will be transferred to Lautoka Hospital and the driver and second passenger will remain under observation in Nandi. She says all 3 are alleged to have been under the influence of alcohol. There were no passengers in the bus. Coming up on FBC News, free falling from the skies. Skydiving in Fiji becoming a major tourist attraction.
Gold FM is #1 here in Sigatoka.
Gold FM is our favorite radio station here in Lautoka.
Gold FM is #1 in Nandi.
I love listening to Gold FM in Ba.
We love listening to Gold FM, only the classic hits here in Suva.
Hear about Batu Cola, you immediately think of gold. I'm Josephine Sabi and I love hearing Gold FM.
Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Welcome back, you're with FBC News. The Education Ministry has recorded a huge increase in the number of students now enrolled in schools with the implementation of the Free Education Initiative. Over 200,000 students in 904 primary and secondary schools are beneficiaries of this program. Eleanor Turanga View reports the next batch of grant is ready to be handed out.
In January this year, all schools eligible for the free education grant were given a total of close to $22 million for the first school term. The Term 2 grant will be out on April 28th.
It's good for our schools, good for our schools because they are going to school, they are not paying fees.
According to Philip Mbole, the free education initiative has seen more children in school.
With no fees being paid at the moment, the The increase is quite large at the moment, and it's just its first term. What were we talking about this morning? About 30,000 increase in the fees, increase in the number of students in our schools. That's quite a big increase. Eh?
Schools must first submit the minutes of their AGM, a copy of the audited financial reports, and a recommendation from the school's monitoring unit to get the grant. It's used for the purpose of teaching and learning materials.
We are so thankful to the government also for this grant that is coming in. It has helped us a lot.
It is good for the general, you know, best for the people because you're not going to spend more money now.
Every kid should go to school and get a good education now since the school fees and everything is free.
A total of $11.4 million will be distributed to primary schools, while $10.5 million will be distributed to secondary schools for the second batch of school grants for the second school term. Eleanor Turangaivu, FBC News.
The temporary bypass created after part of the road at Naimborembore in Tailevu slipped in February is creating problems for heavy vehicles that access the road. Large and heavy vehicles such as these find the bypass too steep. FBC News witnessed one such vehicle which had to be pushed up the hill with the help of a digger. From last week, the Fiji Roads Authority has been working on lowering the steepness of the hill. CEO Neil Cook told FBC News today it has been completed and they are looking at creating another lane for the temporary bypass. He says they are now looking at the most cost-effective solution available to them as the landslip was too extensive. Cook adds it will take time to do a design and put a permanent solution. Skydiving in Fiji has over the last 10 years earned a reputation on TripAdvisor, a world-famous travel website, as the most exciting activity to do when visiting the country. Skydive Fiji offers people the opportunity to experience tandem skydive, free falling from the skies of an airplane with the magical scenery of our beautiful country in plain view. Our West journalist Christopher Chan took to the skies to experience for himself the thrill of skydiving.
After departing Nandi airport on the Cessna aircraft, we flew high above Nandi. It's the craziest yet coolest thing to try. Skydiving is a sport, but to jump out of a plane from 14,000 feet is a brave thing to do.
I think any normal person, it's a big thing to step out of an aeroplane. The thing that most people comment on was it was nowhere near as scary as they thought it was going to be when they actually do it. So I think there's very little, and you'll be able to tell us after you do a skydive, but there's very little sensation of falling. Even though you might be falling at 200 kilometres an hour, that's not relative to anything. So you just feel like you're floating up there with this amazing view in front of you. For up to 70 seconds until the parachute opens, and then you've got 6 to 8 minutes of flying the parachute down, and we'll give you the controls and teach you how to use the parachute before landing, usually on the beach in front of the resort where they're staying.
Just jumped out of an aeroplane. The scariest thing to ever do is to take the first step to jump out of the plane. Especially for a beginner like me, and I've just jumped out of the plane with this crazy guy. Welcome to my office. Your office in the sky with an absolutely amazing view of the greater Nandi area.
Tim Joyce is an Australian who owns Skydive Fiji, which started its humble beginnings in 2004. It's become a major attraction for tourists.
Everybody remembers their first skydive, and they remember where they did it. And although it might be a relatively small proportion of the people that come to Fiji that do a skydive, for them it's the most exciting experience of their life, and probably for the rest of their life they're going to tell people where they experienced it, which is not only great for Skydive Fiji, but it's great for Fiji as a whole.
Skydivers have increased to more than double in the last 10 years. Thousands of people have tried it, including celebrities like Paris Hilton and our own local celebrities.
What do you think about your first skydive in Fiji?
Absolutely amazing. Well, our skydive has come to an end, but for those thrill seekers, this is the ultimate adventure. Christopher Chand, FBC News.
Coming up on FBC Sports, secondary school athletes impress US Olympians. And Saints and Sparks retain Easter Basketball Championship titles.
Mirchi FM is #1 in Singapore.
और किसके सुनिए यार, हमारा एक सच्चा साथी है मिर्ची एफएम लंबा साथी.
I love Mirchi FM. It's so hot. देखे में लाल लाल, खाए में हाय हाय. Tangi tauba में Mirchi FM is hot.
Here at Rugby Town, Singapore, I love listening to Mirchi FM. Mirchi FM, it's hot.
Mirchi FM is #1 in Suva. It's hot.
हम इंग्लिश लंबा सा में रहता है. तो क्या बताइए हम मिर्ची एफएम सुनता है.
Mirchi FM, bon julum julum.
Mirchi FM, it's hot.
Welcome to FBC Sports. 2 USA Olympians were impressed by the attitude of athletes preparing for the Coca-Cola Games next weekend. Dwight Phillips and Hazel Clark were at the ANZ Stadium in Suva and say they were blown away by the self-belief within the youngsters to attain first place. Chalendao Dakadaka has more.
US Olympians Dwight Phillips and Hazel Clark are in the country as part of a US Sports Envoy program. Phillips, a 2004 Olympic Games gold medalist in long jump, says he understands the value of the Coca-Cola Games to young athletes.
So I'm excited just to see about the potential and the marks that they're going to have, and hopefully that some of these marks can be a precursor to the Commonwealth Games, the World Championships, and ultimately the 2016 Olympic Games.
Phillips and Clark will be sharing their knowledge and experience with coaches and athletes over the coming week.
When the U.S. Embassy invited us out, I never could have expected that it would be such a tremendous experience. They're absolutely dedicated, focused, they want to learn, and they've been an inspiration to me, so I'm hoping that I'll get to talk to them over the next few days.
The duo are hoping to see these athletes fulfill their dreams next weekend during the Coke Games. Chalendao Dakadaka, FBC Sports.
Swimmers from the National Junior Development and Elite Squads were part of a 2-day Easter camp organised by Swimming Fiji in partnership with the Australian Embassy. The program is the first of its kind in the country, with swimmers getting tips from Australian certified coach Hayden Belshaw. The former New South Wales mentor has been working with Swimming Fiji in implementing a proper training and nutritional program for the squad members.
It's been really good. I've been really impressed with their training ethics, as well as being receptive to new ideas as well. Coming in from a different country and having some new ideas, new thoughts, always is a challenge sometimes, but they've really done well.
The training camp ended this afternoon. The Saints and Sparks basketball sides managed to retain the men's and women's titles respectively at the Easter Championships. Both teams showing good skill and composure to stamp their claim as the top teams on the local scene. Chalendao Dakadaka reports.
Final whistle has gone. So that's the end of the men's.
The Saints team basked in glory as they collected the men's Easter Champions title for the 3rd year in a row. Captain and national rep Leonard Whippy credits the team's defense as the key to victory.
We felt that we needed to put up a good defensive effort. That's been I think our strength throughout the tournament, and so we felt that if we could maintain our defense throughout the game, we should be able to come out winning. Eh?
The women's final was an epic battle between Sparks and Dynamic Reds. A strong team effort by Sparks allowed them to pull through against a young and determined Reds outfit.
Yes, I'd like to thank our manager and our coach for supporting us all this way, and to the players, I salute them, especially to the girls that came down from the West, and I also salute the Reds team for giving us a tough run in the finals.
Both finals were a great climax to the one-week tournament, the two winning teams collecting $2,000 each, as well as bragging rights. Chalendao Dakadaka, FBC Sports.
Fine weather prevailed in all the centres today. It was fine everywhere from morning till afternoon except for Suva, where there was a bit of showers and some clouds. Suva recorded the lowest temperature on the chart today, hitting 29 degrees. Lambasa was the hottest place to be in today. It recorded 33 degrees on the temperature chart. Tomorrow, fine weather should prevail in all centres, but for Suva and Sabu Sabu, you can expect some cloudy periods in the afternoon. Now for the further outlook, fine apart from brief showers over the eastern parts and interior of the larger islands, moderate southeast winds and moderate seas. The outlook for Tuesday, brief showers over the eastern parts and interior of the larger islands. Elsewhere, it should be fine. Recapping our headlines. Elections Office to ensure every voter knows how to vote by Elections Day. 999 drivers booked for traffic infringements in 36 hours. And 3 people hospitalized following horrific accident in Nandi. Now to this week's poll question. Should the old railway bridge be demolished? Visit our FBC website to take part. Remember, you can send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email citizenseyes@fbc.com.fj or share it with us via our Facebook page FBC News. Or if you're on Twitter, follow and tweet us your news tips at FBC News or simply hashtag FBC News. That's FBC News for tonight. I'll be back on Saturday. Have a safe Easter Monday holiday and a productive week ahead. Bye for now.
Ito singa to kando tali ta na warong na radio Fijuan na station yal motua.
Ako na koro na tali ta. Mandau tali ta gini na warong radio Fijuan.
Kitongo isu untuk tali ta na warong na radio Fijuan station yal motua.
Keto tali ta na radio Fijuan. Na radio Fijuan endo tali ta kitalanga singotoka.
Station in Machino Pinatia na radio Fijuan. Kokwa Beyanyan.
Na Radio Fijuan nandu mo ibiti na bonga ni biyanan.